Welcome back to part 2. I had to cut off the other one very quickly, but this is the continuation of that part. In case you missed that part, please, it will be under the testimony part 8, part 1. So this is part 2 of the part 1 of part 8. So the other part I left off when I had taken the pills to try to end my life because of all the suffering that I was enduring in the hands of my siblings. I was pregnant at this point. It was a couple of weeks old, and in the other part I had talked about that my sister had come to take me from home, and she really just twisted the words around, and she made it seem that dad was coming to kill me, pretty much with the same axe that that rapist had used against me. So she managed to take me from my home to her home. She lived in Nigeria. For those that are in Uganda, the place Nigeria, it's very far from where I was living. But that was not the truth, because later, I found out from from dad that he never said such things, and he didn't. He was disappointed that something like that happened to his little girl. But not that he didn't want to murder me, and he didn't want to destroy me. But of course, this lady was a liar to begin with. She's known for twisting words, and anyone that will listen to her, I feel sorry for such a person. I'm not here to talk badly about her, but for those that are in the family, they understand what I mean. So after the interrogation that I was getting from my siblings, they had demanded for me to tell them the truth of who the owner of the pregnancy was, and I did. From the very beginning to the very end, I into details, and I was even willing to give them the people that that knew about the situation of how the day of the rape. They were like Sophie knew the whole thing. There was another neighbor there that knew the whole at least part of the thing, and also the stepmother also was aware of a lot of things. But my siblings were not, they were not willing to take that truth, so they wanted to hear the lie, because the truth was too painful for them to accept, and also it was too embarrassing. Because like I said, the rapist was a known person in the family, right? He was someone that we all knew, right? So accepting that he's the one that would do such a thing, it's like an abomination or something. So they rather believed the guy who plainly said no. In fact, they didn't even bother asking him. They plain out say that I was lying against him. So they really tortured me. Like again, in the day where they all three ganged up on me and really beat me up, that I'll never forget it. And you, my siblings, maybe you don't remember it, but I'll never forget it. All that week that you were around for days. Some of you were around the sister's house for days, and within all of those days you did interrogation, and my breakfast was beating from you people, and insults and everything, and you sit over there in your royal majesty, and I'll be your slave after you have beaten me blue black, after you have really kicked my stomach. A pregnant girl. I was a little tiny girl, and you, as the adults, you actually were the one that inflicted more pain. Especially, I don't know, the part that really did hurt me the most, more than even the rape itself, was that person that would I actually thought that in all these other people that they didn't believe me, but I thought that at least this person, when you hear about this, at least you will believe me, because you knew that guy, you knew what he was capable of. But you too, you believed someone like that woman, the same woman that lied against dad, that dad was coming to chop off my head, that he hated me, that all of these things. You believed those things. The same person that really caused the mother's death, you believed that person. You should at least do your little investigation. I don't want to say much because this person has caused so much in the family. Both of them, actually. So you actually taking their side was even more disappointing and painful than a lot of other people, what they did. Strangers believed me. My own family didn't. Even those that claim to have loved me, they didn't. And right in the sister's home, man, they really mistreated me. I heard it from my own family, from my own siblings, that you have gotten pregnant. You used to think that you're something. Dad used to say that you're going to be the, you are the Esther, the queen that will help us. Now you are pregnant. Now you never amount to anything. You're going to be a loser. No one will ever marry you. You'll never go back to school. You're always going to be someone you are a failure. You guys said all of those things. But my dear, your words, you may have said it at that time because you took me to your house. I did not bring myself to your house. You took me from my father's house to your house. And not only did you beat me like every single day, mistreated me like nothing, and you also were talking so down because you were the high and mighty at that time. But my God has the final say. Even though now you still think that you're something, but my God has the final say. I am not the loser you said I will be. You said I will never get out of that situation. My God proved you wrong. He brought me to this country and you still remained in Africa. You came out of Africa years after I was here. And truly, most of the prophecies that Dad said over my life, they still came to pass, and they are still gonna come to pass. Why? Because my God is the one that writes my story. Even when I thought that my story had ended, but He said no. Sometimes I would get beatings until I would just sit there and I'll cry. There was this little wind. For those that have watched part 1 and part 2, there is a little wind that even at school used to come and, lift up the ground and go even in. That little wind followed me. It's not even a little wind. It was a big wind. It will start out small, but it will get big. It was a whirlwind that followed me since I was a child. And it followed me even to my sister's house. So sometimes I'll sit there and I really hated my life. I truly saw that it was the end of me. Every single day, all I had was, you are a loser, you are a failure, you are a disappointment to this family, because they still didn't want to accept the truth. So they decided to stay in the lie. So all I had was this and that and that. So I'll just sit there sometimes and just cry. And then that whirlwind will come and it will just whirl all over that place until I'll even forget why I was crying. It used to give me such peace. Whenever it will come and it will just, it's like it's dancing around or something. We had a mango tree right close to the house. It will go into, it will dance around and lift up all the sand and everything, and it will go into the wind, into the tree, and off into the leaves. And sometimes I'll actually hear the voice that said, one day I'll take you far away from this place. I didn't believe it. I honestly thought it was the end of me. I thought that that place, which had become a prison, my own siblings, that hated me, until now, they still do. They hated me so much because of petty jealousy, because dad always loves you so much, he always says so they they wanted to prove him wrong, because he had said that I'll be the best of the family. So they wanted to prove to him that I was nothing. All that time that he said that she's gonna be the one to rescue this family, she's gonna be the one to build this family, she's gonna be the one to help me and help you, they hated me because of that, and I had nothing to do with it. I really did. So even now, they still have that bitterness. Listen, I did not create myself. I did not make myself. I did not make, Dad to say those words. But regardless of what has been said and done, my God has the final say. And as that whirlwind used to come and give me peace and comfort, and I will even forget why I'm crying, and that voice used to say, one day I'm gonna take you far, far away from this place. It came to pass one day. This happened, that happened. Before we knew it, we could go on the plane abroad. And those two people, that nightmare man and that nightmare woman, well, they remained there. Later on, she still went to somewhere. But that's a big story that I'm not willing to talk about. I'm here to share about my story and the goodness of God in my life. So you that is watching, and you have family members that have run you down, that have said all manner of evil against you, that have reviled you, that have lied against you, that have called you names, please, they did the same to Joseph. And even though God had proved that God was with Joseph, they didn't believe him. And because of that, they prosecuted the guy. They thought that they had finished him. But later on, truly, it came to pass that he was going to be the savior of that family. That shows you that no matter what, God can allow those situations, truly. I wish that, he didn't let me come through all of those things, but you know what? That was his own way. And some of you still benefited from the same birth that you despised. And now you have the audacity to talk about, to remove that video. How will my family feel? Shame. It's always going to be your family, huh? Anyway, I don't know you people anymore. I'm done with you. As you watch this video, I am done with all of you. I've given you so many opportunities. You have hurt me so much. And poor me, I'm always, believing the best. And it's like I open my heart again and you come back and you do the same. And I believe that, one day they will change. And then they come back again and they do the same thing. But for those that are watching, maybe you are down right now, and your family says that you will never be anything, that you will always be a loser, you will always be a failure, you will always be this, you will always be that. Don't believe them. Believe in God. He's the one that started your story. He is the same author and the finisher of your faith. If it's bad things that are happening to you right now, just put your trust in the Lord. That when he's really done, he will prepare a table in the presence of your enemies. And you sit on that table and you eat in front of your enemies and you rejoice. I am the living proof that that can happen. I am not in the village somewhere. She was in the village somewhere with whatever it is that she had gotten herself into. And, you know, just because she had a house at that time, she thought that she was my God. This woman will send me to go to farm the whole day. And I'm pregnant. And she will be going around from one friend to another gossiping. And she will come back and beat me. And eating was a problem. And I have to take care of her children. And I have to sweep, mop, do all the cooking before she even comes back from her gossiping. So the first time, the first part that I said that I had taken the pills, I was really done. I tried to really kill myself. But God said that, you know, right now you're suffering. But one day you'll come out of it. I didn't see any good thing that will actually come out of that situation. For many years, I did not see any good thing. For years and years, I really cried and wondered, why did God allow this situation to happen to me? Why is it always my life? Why is all the pain, all the suffering, all the crying, all the torture, the affliction, the oppression? Why is it always my life? But He permitted it. Some of those situations, I still don't have the answer for it. And some of them, yes, let me know that, you know, some of this happened because of this and this. Some of them I have the answer, but most of them I still don't. I may never do. So be encouraged, my friends. No matter how low you are, no matter how down you are right now, no matter how deep it feels like it's hell, it feels like there is no hope, it feels so dark you can't see the light. Believe that God that had put you on this earth will see you through. Your Creator knows your story. He wrote that story. He knows the beginning of it. He knows the end of it. Right now, you don't see the end of it. But one day, you will look back on your situation and be like, well, God really saw me through that. And it will become a testimony for His own glory. So He will prove all those big mouths that thought that they were something, that thought that they owed you life, that thought that can they just destroy you. He will prove to them one day that He's good, as we have read it here in this one. For this God is our God forever and ever. He will be our guide even unto death. He was my guide before. He is my guide today. And He will be my guide tomorrow. He has brought me from so far away. Took the pills to end it all. I woke up just with a little tiny headache. Even with all the pain had disappeared. I continued into the beating. Oh my goodness, this woman mistreated me more than the stepmother did. I talked about how my stepmother really dealt with me. No, my own sister actually treated me worse than the stepmother ever did. I was pregnant. From the very day I stepped into her house to the very day that I left her house, this woman treated me like, you can't even treat a stranger like that. Even your enemy. you still should at least have some, I don't know, humanity in you, let alone your own blood. She would wake me up very early in the morning, at 5, 6, to be outside in a place where there was night dancers. She'll put water the whole night. And then she'll put in some, I don't know, some herbs or something. All in the name of, you're pregnant, you're gonna be helping the whole night, and forces you to actually do, wash yourself with those things that she'll put in there at 5 a.m. with water that is so cold, like from the freezer. And sometimes she would even do it with beating. Call you lazy, and yet you're the one that cleans her room. You take care of the children, you barely sleep. With this woman, you can't sleep. There is no peace for you. Send you so far away to fetch water. All throughout the day. Go to the farm about this, and you do this and do this, with a place that had so many snakes. So many. Our neighbors were snakes, very poisonous snakes. It's again by the grace of God that I was never bitten. But I saw snakes every day. Very dangerous one. So with the pregnancy, with all of this, yet with no rest, you sit a little bit, you're lazy. You rest a little bit, ooh, you're lazy. Get up, go wash clothes, go cook, go fetch firewood, go to the farm, go fetch water, wash my clothes, look after my children, go. That was my daily life. Every day. And she would put her son to be a spy. Whenever she'll go out, she'll put the son to watch what I'm doing the whole time. If I touch the food, matoke and stuff, those were for her and her children. If I touched even one, I'll be in trouble. So I'll cook the good food, but I have to eat the kaunga and all the others that they don't want to eat. I really regretted it so much. I remember that time my dad was really, really skinny. The same one that she had lied against. That he doesn't do this, he doesn't want you, he wants to kill you. He had come to visit me just soon after I had gone to that home. He looked at me and he was almost in tears. Because I had changed. I had lost so much weight. I didn't even have clothes to wear, even though she had so many. She had taken all my good clothes, by the way. And when Dad would come and he would see that I didn't have something to wear, he would give her clothes to give to me. She would keep them, and some of them she would sell them, that I was not good enough to wear those clothes. My daughter didn't have anything to wear. I was getting ready to have a child. That child was supposed to be born in July. She came a month earlier. She came in June. But I went to have a baby with a little tiny plastic bag with clothes in it. She had clothes. Even Dad would give her clothes to give to me. The woman would bring them home. I would even see some of it, and she would say, "No, you're too dirty. You can't. You won't be able to keep these clothes clean. They are too good for you." She will keep them for her child that she will give birth to. So when I went to give birth, really, I had like little tiny clothes, baby clothes, that I had bought whenever I would, I only went to antenatal like 2 times. So when I would go to there, I had saved up some little money, and I would just buy the little, they were very embarrassing actually. It wasn't really real good clothes to put on a baby. They were second hand clothes that were very cheap, but that's all I could afford, even though my father actually was sending money to look after me. So for you, some, in fact I will mention you, for you some that says that you know something, this same woman that dad used to give her money to come and take care of me, and she'll go and buy many clothes to go and sell. The clothes that he will give to her to bring to me to wear, she will keep it for herself and sell many of them. I didn't get anything. I was wearing rags, and you people were the same one that when you come from Kampala, you'll be like, oh, she's too dirty, she's not wearing any clothes, because I didn't have anything. The woman had taken everything from me. There is another thing that involves a guy that I don't want to talk about that she did too. She wanted to take over her friend's marriage. And so she tried to force me into that home. Because according to her, no one was going to marry me because I had given birth. Or I was going to give birth. So she was trying to get rid of her friend, her best friend. Her name was Lillian. So that she can force me into that marriage. So when I look at you, Sam, and you say that you know nothing. You really know nothing. May God have mercy upon you and those that you have deceived. You're not some little perfect whatever. If I open up about you too, piss me off. I'll make a video about you. And you realize that I know more about you than you ever know about me. If it's not for these videos, you will still not know these things. So sleeping. Me to sleep, to even have a little bit of sleep in our house. The only time I had some peace is when her husband will come. I'm telling you, her husband was actually my saving, what is it? My little defender that I had. The only time that I will actually have a little breather is when her husband will be at home. Because he will be like, why are you treating this girl like this? You're going to kill this girl, and your whole family are going to blame me for it. In the middle of the day, in the farm. In the morning, in the farm. At night, even at night, she doesn't care. It could be in the farm. If you like, be bitten by snakes. What her business? And she will sit over there on the veranda and she just enjoy her tea and gossip. You people. This family. But God has seen me through. All that beating that you used to give to me when I'm so pregnant, like so pregnant. If God did not decide that my daughter will be here, she would have been gone. I would have been gone in the hands of you people. And yet you'll be, no, you're the one that did this, you're the one that did. Yeah, I did beat your children. Well, specifically the first one. Because he's the one that you used to send at me as a spy. And sometimes I definitely did lose it, and I took all my anger upon this boy. You send him as a spy to spy on me whether I'm gonna eat your nice food, if I'm resting, if I didn't go fetch enough water. Throughout the whole day, someone will be carrying gel cans of water with a belly in a hot sun, and you're sitting there gossiping, calling the same person lazy. You come and eat, and I'll be the one to even make your bed. Anyway, I can go through all of these things and say this, but God did not allow you to destroy me. And that monster that also caused all those problems, God again did not allow you to destroy me either. And he truly took me far, far, far away. Now, if you cause me problems, it's because I let you back in my life, thinking that you would change one day. But truly, now I have realized that you cannot, you can't change Satan. I'm not calling you Satan, but you know, your hearts are really something. So now I'm not going to open my heart up for you people anymore. No. Even the girl that I gave birth to, for many years, she's like, how long are you going to do this? For how long will you be crying over these people? For how long will you let them back into your life and they will just run over you and just say all kinds of things and insult you and accuse you of all kinds of things? And you're going to be here crying, but then they return back again and you just open your heart up again for them. For how long will you do that? Even a little child. But you know what? She's right. She is right. So this story, I know that there is a lot of ladies out there that have really been, they have been treated. They have been raped. They have been chased out of their homes. They have been mistreated by their families. Others have gotten married and it didn't work out. And truly, when you look around, there is no hope. But take hope. Have faith in God. When God has determined something for you, He will bring it to pass no matter how long it will take. I never thought that I would have a day to smile in my life. No. I was always the one that cried, lamented. I'll cry so bad that I'll cry for my mother's ghost to come and take me to where she is. I'll cry so hard that I would wish for death many times. When I go to the farm, I would go with the intention of, I hope this, those snakes will just bite me and kill me, because there were so many of them that were just so dangerous, deadly. That was the place that I actually saw mambas. I saw a green mamba, there was black mambas, there was every kind of snake in that place. So when I'll go to the farm, I will actually hope that one of them will just strike me dead. But as God will have it, none, not even one time. And yet you'll be sitting and you'll see one just, passing by like it's like nothing. You go to the farm, you will see them. They would spit everywhere. They will leave their skins everywhere. Sometimes you touch something and you feel it moving. And snakes were our neighbors in that Nigeria there. At that time, it was not so developed. But even with that, nothing. I would see all kinds of deadly what are they? Spiders. I'll see all kinds of deadly things, but not even one time was I bitten or stricken by any of them. So that was God's protection. And I am here to testify. I will not take down any video. Yes, some of these things that I'm talking about, I would rather not talk about them. Because it's going all over the world to strangers, to people that I will never even know. And I really would have loved to just keep it to myself. But you see, my God had said that he was going to use me for many people. This is just a little part of it. So if I can just do this little tiny part for him, to show that he can take you from nowhere, and he can take you from being a nobody. I'm still not a somebody, and I don't desire to be a somebody. But I am not that girl that used to eat in the garbage. I am not the loser that they thought I would be. I am not the failure that they said I would be. I did not run mad like the way they said I would be. Those that tried, that exchanged my destiny. I am still here. And a lot of you perished. Those that tampered with my star, God restored it. Those that put shadows over me that I will not be seen by anyone, again, God crushed it. For those that went and tied me on the trees, and tied me in the toilet, and tied me in the stream, and for the other ones, I still haven't released the video of the marine spirits, and for those that took me into the underground, and all of you, my God has put you to shame, because I am still here as a living testimony that I serve a living God. Who can separate us from the love of God? Is it trials? Is it tribulation? Is it even Satan? Is it even angels? Is it death? Is it pain, sorrows? What? I fulfill that verse. That nothing truly can separate us from the love of God. As you can see, I am well, I am healthy, still beautiful as ever. For those that try to mess up my entire face and my entire thing, I am still standing. And there is nothing you can do, because there is nothing that I can face now that I have not faced before. Is it death? I have died a couple of times. Is it trapped? Many times. Is it oppression? Is it voodoo? Is it dark magic? Is it ancestral spirits? What can really anyone do to me that I have not seen? Zero. I am the living proof that when God has designed you for greatness, when God has purposed it in his heart to lead you, even if he leads you through the waters, the deep trials, the fires, the many waters, the many tears, he will still accomplish his purpose in your life. He will still bring to pass the word that he has said concerning your life. He will still lift you up above those that use their tongue against you. Take a good look at this video. Do I look like a beggar? Do I look like a failure? Do I look like someone with bad luck? Or How do I look like I was gonna be a maid for the rest of my life? If you look at me now, would you actually say that I went through all of those things? Because my God is on the throne. The Lord Jesus Christ is on the throne. Ha! And if my King is still on the throne, what can you do? I have survived a wicked stepmother. I have survived my wicked siblings. I have survived multiple rapes. I have survived multiple deaths. A lot of these dark powers sent all kinds of accidents against me. Didn't work. A lot of them even sent some gun people. Even that, it still didn't work. They invoked spirits of death against me multiple times. I am still here. Many people, unfortunately, they perished. But you see, I am not many people. Because my God said that, Rachel, you will live to testify of the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. So not even death succeeded. Even me, I tried to take my own life many times. At this point, if you ask me how many times I tried suicide, I cannot. If I say that it's this many times, I'll be lying. So even me, I couldn't do it. I have seen Satan with my own eyes many times, but even he still couldn't. Come and test that the Lord is good. You too, you have a testimony one day, my dear. Whether you're a man or whether you're a woman. And truly, the devil has just been beating you up and down. The people that should have protected you, they're the one that afflicted you. The one that should have exalted you and encouraged you are the one that have run you down. My dear, take courage. The Lord Jesus Christ is still on the throne. He will lift you up above those many waters. He will strengthen you. Yeah. He will fight for you. Yeah. You will know that He's the God above all gods. That truly you cannot compare Him to anyone. Who can you liken the Lord my God to anyone? The rest are idols that cannot speak, that cannot defend you, that cannot even defend themselves. They are blind. You make them with your own hands. You fashion them. You position them. You carry them. You waste your gold on them. Then you kneel down and you pray to them. And that's for you that worship a man. You print out this picture and you go and you bow down to it. But the God that I'm talking about is the God that created all things. He's the uncreated God. No one created Him. No one can think for Him. No one can give Him counsel. Test and see that the Lord Jesus Christ is good. And if you didn't believe Him before, take a good look at me. The witches could not kill me. The sorcerers were not able to kill me. The multiple suicide attempts that I did for myself did not take me down. My useless family did not accomplish all the rubbish that they had said upon my life. My wicked stepmother did not destroy me. My neighbors and all of these things and all the wizards and all of the ones that use juju and they are cultists. And now I have so many testimonies. that I truly don't even know which one to talk about. So I have to wait on the Lord to tell me, okay, you're going to discuss this one or you're going to open up about this one. Because every single day of my life is a testimony. How what I am, what He has given to me, every single thing is a testimony. So if you did not believe that truly that the Lord Jesus Christ is God, take it from me. And also, just go and read. From Genesis to Revelation. From Genesis to Revelation. This entire book is the revelation of the Lord Jesus Christ. Not another God, not whichever. Nah. And He's not just a prophet, but He's the God of all the prophets. He's the God of all. He's the I am that I am. And that is the one that has made me who I am today. And to Him be the glory, be the honor and adoration forever and ever. Amen. He has fought for me. So truly, when it comes to man, I fear no man. So for the little person that thought that he can intimidate me a few days, remove the video and whatever, to please you, that you were a part of my problem, I should take down things that will encourage others, that will probably touch them to get salvation, to get healing, to get deliverance. I should take all of that down to please some little something that I barely see for years. I've given you opportunities, but that was the last one. Now, never in your life approach me again. I am done with you people. Because you see, I have a God that cares. I have a God that loves me. He's the one that knows how I sleep, how I wake up, what I eat, what I wear, where I go, what I even dream, what I see. So anyone else? No, it don't matter. Your opinion? Don't matter. Your words? Don't matter. The only one that matters is the word of God concerning my life. This Bible is a person. And that person is the one that directs my life. The one that speaks good things concerning my life. And they come to pass. And they will come to pass. And they will continue to come to pass. So anyway, I continued for many months of severe oppression. Until whenever my dad would come to visit me, he would even cry tears. And sometimes he used to just put a little money in my hand because he knew that the ones that, he gives to her, I never get it because of the way I look. And he would ask me, didn't you see the clothes I gave to your sister? Be like, which clothes? When she came in the town, she told me that you don't have anything to wear, you don't have this, you don't. So I got the money, I got the clothes, I gave it to her. It's like I never received anything. Yeah. I went to deliver my baby with a kavera plastic bag with a little tiny clothes in it. Like a homeless person. Even the baby came prematurely. Because one day, after all that hard work, she sent me to get something in her room. It was dark. I slipped on the water. I fall on my stomach. It was a big bang that even she raised up to come and check out what happened. She found me on the floor. That day I actually thought that I had lost the baby. I really thought, because I fall on that stomach. So eventually I was taken to the hospital, in which I got to be there for days. It was not the first time I ended up in a hospital. There is another time I ended up in the hospital, and it was a nice, kind person that ended up paying for the bills. It was the man that she was trying to get me to marry, the husband of her best friend. He ended up covering the bills because he actually had hope that I was gonna marry him. He was the one that bought all the good things. The food, he will actually buy the enkotaza matoke, in which when they get at home, I may not even taste even one toke like this, because madam will take over everything, and I'll end up eating kaunga. A toke, it was for her children and herself. My own sister. Get a nice chicken and something. The only time I got to eat something nice, again, if her husband was at home, or if that man had come with good stuff. Sometimes you're gonna go through a situation, but God will put people in that situation that will at least lift up the load. So whenever they will be around, he will leave me some money. Well, I would hide some and give her some because I knew she would take everything. But my baby still needs clothes, so I would keep a little bit. And he actually is the one that will be telling me that I know she will take everything, so give her this one and you keep this one. Because if you don't, as long as I am here, she knows that I will give you money. So you give her that and you keep that. And truly, keeping that helped me to buy a little few things for my little one. And my dad will come with baby clothes and very nice little blankets, and she will take a bunch of them. You are a nightmare. I've reached out to you so many times, and I've put up with you so many times. As you watch this video, you don't deserve me. I've put up with you for a long time, but this time around, just like the other one, I'm done with you. I'm done with this family. So you too, don't talk to me, because nothing good ever comes out of you. You don't know me, because whenever I'll be on the I'll reach out to you and I'll speak to you, you always just talk about yourself. Me, and a man problem, this, and this man, this and this, and you don't care to even know me as a person. It's always about in the nebizibu byange, but you don't care to know about your own sister. So you too, I don't think I have forgiven you, but I will just stay away, because every time I opened my heart to you people, you really just run me down. You really do. May God have mercy upon you and I, because even I need his mercy. I have done a lot of things. In this family, everybody has offended everybody, has run down everybody. And if I am saying something that but first of all, you did, and you know. But maybe the way I'm saying it is offense, and for that, forgive me. But everything I'm saying is true, and you know it. Actually, everybody knows it. So I ended up in the hospital after that big fall, and I was told to be in the hospital, And then one of those days, dad and his mistress, at that time I did not even know that that was his mistress. They had stayed for many hours with me. And then after they left at around 9, at around 8:30 or something at night, I started getting pain, such horrible pain in my back. I did not know what it was. I continued with the pain. It was awful. I felt like a whole mountain was sitting on my back. Again, I didn't know what labor was. I just like I didn't know what pregnancy was. I did not know how labor actually feels like it, because I didn't take any classes. I didn't take anything. I spent all those months throughout my pregnancy laboring and slaving for my sister. So I didn't get to get anything. And then I had such pain. She had taken over my bed, because the moment the daddy and the mistress were around, she was at home. So when they were going to leave, she had to come to stay with me the whole night, and then they will come back in the morning. So when they left, she just pretty much pushed me off the hospital bed, that she's the one that wanted to rest. So I ended up sleeping on the ground. I am the sick woman. Pretty much at that time I was 8 months pregnant, very heavy. But she's the one that deserves the bed. So she kicks me off the bed, and then I'm laying on the ground. So on the ground there, I was going through so much pain, and I would tell her that my back is really, really painful, and she's like, "You're just pretending. You're just trying to get attention." Attention from who? From my worst nightmare. Like I said, this woman actually treated me worse than the stepmother ever treated me. And my stepmother was horrible. She was a horrible, horrible human being. And yet sometimes when you are really, really tired, sometimes she's not in the mood to deal with you. She actually will let you be. Not with this so-called sister. With that sister, there is no peace. Whether it's night, whether it's day, you're going to be working. You're going to be in chores. Funny enough, she's still the same. She hasn't changed. So being in a hospital was at least a little time for me to actually rest up. But whenever she's around, of course, she kicks me off on my own hospital bed, and she's the one resting. So I was grabbing onto the wheels of that bed, because it was really, really horrible. That was like the most pain I really felt at that time. And it's like I did not understand. I'll tell her that, I'm not pretending, but I really feel such severe pain in my back. So she told me to leave her to sleep, because she wants to sleep and everything. So I was there on the ground for at least 2 hours, really fighting through that pain. I really did. At some point, I couldn't take any more of it. So I started pushing the bed, like I started pushing it, and I ended up dragging it through. And then she would wake up. She would get very angry, and it's like, "What's your problem?" I'm like, "I really am going through a lot of pain." But it's like, "No, you're just pretending. You this lazy person." She would run the same thing, and she would say all kinds of things. So I started pushing the bed and really rocking it and stuff, because that's how I was wishing to have a knife at that time, because I was so suicidal. I wish to have a knife so that I can just end it, because the pain was unbearable. I just didn't understand what it was, but I knew I didn't want it. So the one that should have explained it to me was the one that was saying that I was pretending. So by the time she realized that I was actually in labor, is when the water broke. So we are getting out, we are at the door. So then the water just, she looked at me and froze and said, like, I'm like, but I've been telling you that I have so much pain. So that is when she knew that all hell had broken loose. Because then she calls to the nurse, and the nurse is like, when did this start? I'm like, I don't know, a couple of hours ago, when my dad had left. And it's like, why are you waiting until now to tell us that all of this? I'm like, I did try. So then she's giving me the look that don't even dare me. So I'm like, but I did try to say, I just didn't know. So I didn't know why there was so much water that just poured out. But when the water came out, that is when I really felt that pain. It was such pain that I've never felt before. And then all of a sudden I felt this strength to just push. But then they're just like, but it's not supposed to come out now. It was supposed to be born by a C-section because of how small I was. So they had scheduled me for a C-section, but it was gonna be the next month in July, because that was the due date. But now we are in June 20th, and you know, this whole thing is happening so fast. So from the time that the water broke to the time that they put me on the bed to push, it was within minutes. The girl was fighting to get out, and I really couldn't blame her, because she really suffered in the womb. She was not getting enough food. She did not get much rest. She didn't get any rest at all. At some point, sometimes she would stop kicking, and I would wonder if she's finally gone, because so many beatings that I got. And even though the tummy is this big, I'll still get the punches on my stomach. I'll still get the kicks on my stomach. So sometimes when she was not, she was very active, by the way, and there is some position I'll get in, and she would really kick. And you will see a whole hand right here, or you will see a whole thing right here. So she was done. She decided to just come early, because that free rental place was no longer free, and she was done with that place. So she pushed through. She did not give us enough time to do this or do that. Nah. So the water comes, and I'm already screaming, and I was the youngest in the whole world that they had. So there were some women that were, that were also in labor, that were screaming, and those nurses would be like, why are you screaming? You have already given birth, and we know that next year you're going to be back here again. So when I did not scream a lot, but when I was holding, sometimes that is the time that I would hold my sister till I almost broke her. I'll get a grip on her very well, and it's like, ugh. At that time I didn't fear her, because it was I didn't know what, but I had this strong urge to push. So when the nurses checked me out, the head was already coming out, and it was coming out violently, but there was no space for it. So then they put me on the bed very quickly. Thank God there was actually a doctor there at that day. So they couldn't get me into surgery, because there was no surgeon around. There was just a normal doctor and a bunch of nurses. So they started moving. They left all the other people, because this was an emergency. The baby just was pushing through, like, really violently, and I was feeling all of that pain, because I felt like I was being ripped apart. So they tried everything, they tried to push her back in so that it can give them a little time. But even pushing her back in, that was very painful. So they just settled for, I saw a whole tray. This doctor brought in a whole tray of knives and stuff. I did not get any pain medication. I did not get any anesthesias. I did not get anything. Of course, no epidurals or anything. I don't think they even had them at the time. Maybe it was only for rich people. but I didn't get anything. So he, they had a very big tray of knives, and I felt a lot of knives. Like, you're trying to push, and she's pushing herself through, and you hear the knife, you feel the knife going. It really cut me up. They had to make enough room for the baby, and I got cut up nicely. It was painful. It was really painful. So finally, the baby came through. That took like at least like 30 to 45 minutes. That whole ordeal from the moment the water broke to like the moment, she's now out. That took at least 30 to 45 minutes. It was so quick. Thank God for that. So then I got sewed. Felt everything. As the needle goes in and he pulls, and the needle goes in and he pulls. Every bit of that I felt it. Because I had no medication whatsoever. So then the baby, is out there. I knew that I was going to have a girl. So every single little baby clothes I had bought for a girl. Don't ask me how I knew that. But I knew I was going to have a girl from the very beginning. And I always called her a she. And whenever they will be like, how do you know? And I will be like, I know, it's a girl. So I didn't have even one single cloth of a baby boy. They were all for girls. I didn't have any ultrasounds or any of those fancy stuff. No way. I barely had any antenatal. I only went for antenatal like 2 times. And it was only the little medicine that they give to you. And that was it. But I knew it was a girl. So my baby girl, I'm looking at that baby girl. I didn't even get enough time to enjoy that little girl. Because I was getting sewed, right? And I was feeling all of that pain, and also pushing out the placenta. That was not fun either. Everything was new. I had no explanation of anything. No one told me anything. So every single thing that was being done, it was for the first time I've seen it, for the first time I've had it. Everything was, it was the first time for everything. So then the doctor was checking out the baby. The baby was healthy. She was just 2 kilos. She was not too big. She was 2 kilos. But again, she didn't really get to enjoy being in the womb. She really suffered. That little girl suffered before she even arrived in this world. Wow. She really did. The sleeping on the ground. There was no food. Fetching all those firewood. Going for the farm for hours. No food, no water. Fetch water from the stream where you walk so far away, and I had to carry like 4 jerry cans. I carry 2. I reach at a certain point, I leave it there, I go back to carry the 2. So it will take me at least a whole hour to even reach where I'm going, because I have 2 and 2. My back was hurting. Lifting up, each one is like 20 liters. So lifting up 4 of them for a whole hour home, and then later on you have to come back home to go back to the stream, and you have to wash the clothes for everybody. You have to mop the house. It was a big house. You sweep the compound. You cook on firewood, of course, so you have to go find the firewood. And then you go to farm. So by the time you actually get some little rest, it's like 2 a.m. in the morning. But at 5 you have to wake up. Yeah. So really, my baby didn't get to enjoy being in the womb. No wonder she came out with such force that even the doctor was surprised of how she really pushed out. You know, usually a woman is the one pushing out. But this time around, it was the baby that was just pushing herself out. She was born tired. She was so tired that when she arrived, the doctor tried to get her to cry. She didn't cry. She just stared at the. Actually, she didn't stare. She glared at this doctor. The doctor tried to beat her up a couple of times to get the cries out of her. The baby glared at this doctor. she she had an attitude. Actually, she still does. And sometimes she still has that glaring thing. Can't blame her. She didn't, she was not comfortable in her free housing that she should have. Really, when the Lord said that your enemies will be of your own house, take it seriously. I've been treated very kindly by strangers, but I've been treated very horribly by my own. Yeah. So finally, God helped, because at some point, this doctor, after beating her up a couple of times, the baby refused to cry. She was just there blinking and glaring. And he's like, I think this baby is dead. Now, that was words that I did. He shouldn't have said it, because she was obviously alive. Just because she refused to cry didn't mean that she was dead. But you know, I'm still going through the pains, and you're still sewing me up and everything, and you try and you just open your mouth to tell me, oh, I think the baby's dead. Oh, then all the pain that I had endured for her sake, all the mistreatments, I think at that point I just I just lost it. Then I started crying. I just started crying because there is no way. I went through hell. That place was hell. My sister's home was hell. There was no way I went through hell. And finally, to be holding my baby and you're telling me that she's dead. So I looked at the baby, and she's blinking, but she's glaring. She was angry. She was not pleased at all. Yeah, she was not pleased. And even my sister, who was in the room, tried to, you know, to hold her. The girl was glaring. Okay, with that part, she's definitely, the baby was justified, because this woman really tortured that baby. All that kicking that she got in the womb was not funny. It was not funny. And it was amazing that she was even born healthy. I'm telling you, my God is alive. My God is alive. The baby was born absolutely healthy. There was nothing wrong. She came a month early, but she was fully developed. She was healthy. They didn't even keep her. Oh, they just cleaned her up, and I went carrying her back into the resting area. And yet there was a lot of women out there. Again, I was the youngest out of all of them. And yet there was a lot of them that didn't come back with their babies. And others, their babies were so sick. And mine didn't have anything. She really didn't have the good clothes to wear. She never received the good medication. She never received the pampering. She never received the good food. She never received anything. My goodness, it's like she really suffered from the beginning. Now she's good. And yet she was healthy. She was a little beautiful little bundle of joy. So I am grateful to God, truly. Finally, she cried. And the so-called crying was Eh, uh, and that was it. She got tired of getting beat up by this doctor, so she just decided to be like, "Oh, no, I have a voice and I'm actually alive. I will show you that I'm alive." So she just went, eh, um, that was it. We didn't hear her after that for a while. So then my sister called dad and it's like, yeah, she has delivered. He was in shock. Of course, first thing in the morning, he came again with this lady. She was a nice lady. She was my friend, actually. Um, but she was having an affair with my dad. But anyway, she was kind. So she looked after me. She came with her katogo, you know, the food you give to the new mothers. At that time, I was too tired. Too tired. I fall asleep. I think for the first time in months, I really fall asleep. At the same time, I was trying to resist the sleep because I didn't want anything to happen to my baby. I had heard that they steal babies or exchange babies. So I was too tired. My eyes could not close. But at the same time, I still wanted to know, to keep an eye on the baby. So when my dad came, I was able to rest up well, because then I knew that she was in a safe place and she was going to be looked after nicely. So he was so surprised. He came, he rejoiced. He did not believe because he lost so much weight throughout my pregnancy, because he kept, they kept telling him that I'm gonna die. I was too young to carry the child, so I was gonna die. It was very hard. He had really lost so much weight. I remember talking to him and he's like, I can't sleep. All I'm thinking about is if you're okay, but about the baby, if you will survive this. Will you survive this? He had faith in God, but at the same time, as a parent, he was still very much scared that I may not make it. Truly, I actually thought I would not make it either. But God was on our side, truly, throughout. Every single thing that could have killed me, or could have killed the baby, it didn't. It did not. So both of us were healthy, were alive, were in good and perfect condition. So he came and he gave the baby the name, committed her, prayed over her, and committed her into the hands of the Lord. And if I thought that my sister really hated me before, she hated me even now, because she had 3 boys and she has always wanted a girl. I ended up with a girl. And she had 3 boys. So I ended up with what she has been wanting. And yeah. So even for that, I still had the girl before she did. But anyway, God designs everything, right? People will lift themselves up above you, but again, God has the final say. I gotta get a charger for this. Sorry. So yeah, after that we went home, to her home, and then they started rejoicing over the baby that they had tried to kill in the womb for many times. But here she was, healthy healthy, and it was so good to go back home with my baby in my hands. I was so grateful. This baby had survived. She's really a survivor. Even throughout her life, she has been a survivor. God has great plans for her. So he just like me, he has really kept us. All that we have is God. All that we have in this world. We have always been just the two of us. And really, all that we have had has always been God. So after the baby was born, Dad had tried to find a place to take us when I was still pregnant, because he knew how much I was really suffering. He knew. But whenever he would try to take us, she would convince him, my sister would convince him that, you know, he's a man, he doesn't know how to take care of a pregnant woman, and, you know, I need her help, and when the baby is born, I'm gonna need a lot of help. And so she would really try to make it seem as though she wanted me at her place, and also that it was better that I was at her place. She just wanted a maid, that's all. She didn't want me as a person, but she wanted to use me as her maid, because she's really not the kind that does her own stuff. It's either she has some maids around, or she wants someone else to do her work. So so then he had to wait, and he used to just, whenever he would visit, he would be like, one day I'm gonna I'm gonna get a home, and I'm gonna take you back. I know a lot of parents abandon their children when they get pregnant, but he really didn't. That's why I had to find out the truth, that he didn't want to kill me, as my sister had said. He was not going to murder me with that axe. He was not going to destroy me. She had lied against him about everything. So God really helped us. My God helped us throughout those many months. They were months, but they felt like forever. It was hellfire in that place. Like I said, the only time I get to rest up is when her husband was around, or when that man that I was supposed to marry was around. Other than that, it was always, beatings and insulting and endless chores until 2 a.m. and then wake up at 5 a.m. to continue the same cycle again. So every single day was a nightmare. Every day. Sometimes I definitely got angry, and I just, especially the firstborn, I didn't beat up the other ones. But the firstborn, yeah, I did beat him up a couple of times, because that boy, he would lie against me about things to his mom, and I would really get a beating that I didn't deserve. So it was not my favorite at all. So the time came, really, Dad worked hard to get us a home, and one day he actually came. He came to take us. I was happy. I never knew that I would be out of that prison. Ever. Because of the things that she had said to me every single day. And as the time really went on, I never thought I'll get out. So anyway, the rep thingy was actually a big one. It ended up in court and stuff. I remember even the day that I went to court, it was a female judge. The lady, walked, I was supposed to stand on the witness stand to talk about it, to say the things that had been done. But because of the beatings that I was enduring, I barely cried. I was getting used to sorrow and pain and stuff. So when I walked into the courtroom, they had called for me because my dad and my sister were there. So they were the guardians, and so I was going to stand to talk about what had happened. The moment I entered, this female judge just took one look at me, and it's like she went in shock. She opened her mouth like, because I was small, and I had lost so much weight within just that couple of months. So I was not looking good at all. She definitely was a mother, because when she looked at me, she opened her mouth, and like I said in the other videos, that I can always sense someone's spirit. I sensed she had a genuine spirit, and she genuinely wanted the best for me. She felt so much sorrow for me. The guy was doomed before he can even say anything. So when I was put on the stand to talk about it, I couldn't, because the motherly spirit that was coming out of the judge, right? It kind of got to me, that I actually felt like someone actually cared. So that broke me, and I felt so safe, even though she was far from where I was. But that spirit kind of like contacted mine, that it brought tears to me. So I just started crying. I did not get to say anything. I just started crying. And it touched her so much that she didn't let me testify. But she definitely said that the guy would see the full extent of the law. Yeah. So I had to leave the courtroom because I was really broken. Even on the way home, I was broken. I went back home with the same sister, because dad had to stay in the city. That's where he was. So I had to go back with the same woman. Of course, when we are all going together, she would not say anything. When dad was around, she was the mother, as she had said to him. You know, she's a child. I am her only mother now, that we don't have a mother anymore. I am her mother, and she needs to be taken care of. I am going to take care of her, so you know, so that she can have a safe delivery. Man, that she can lie. She really can. I would just look at her, and the whole blah 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 blah, and you know, he too is convinced is that yeah, take, you know, that she's all that I have, so just take care of her. She's so small. I don't want her to die in this with the pregnancy. So make sure that everything that she needs, just let me know and I'll provide. Huh? That guy was being played. She would get money out of him. She would get clothes out of him. She would get shoes out of him that I never got, that she would put in her business, because at that time she was selling clothes. So that was her capital. And according to her, that was my own way of contributing. since she was letting me to stay in her nice palace. But for him, he didn't know that. So the only time he will come and start noticing things is when he had come, but unannounced. Because when he comes announced and he says that I'm coming tomorrow something, that I'm gonna be allowed to dress up nicely. I'll even eat some food. And I'll be trained of what to say. You say this and you say that, they said, do you understand? If you don't, he'll leave. When he leaves, it will be you and I. Do you understand? Yep. And I knew that, so I had to obey. But he always had a way of knowing what I was going through. Because I've always been the kind that doesn't cry a lot. And I'll keep my sorrows many times, but sometimes my eyes are going to say exactly what my mouth could not. So he would just take one look at me and be like, I know that she's not treating you well. I know that you're suffering. But I'm working hard to get a home where I'll come and take you and we can live together. He's a good man. May God bless him. He tried. He really tried. He made a lot of mistakes, for sure. We all do. But he tried. Yeah, he didn't abandon me in that place. So, the day for me to go to the city came, man, it felt like a dream. It felt like a dream. All that time he will be like, I'll take you out of here when you give birth and whatever. I was like, yeah, Because when he leaves, she will say that, you think you ever get out of here? Never. And he's just lying to you. But he will never take you anywhere. He has said this and he has said that. And he's just, trying to strengthen you. But he has already said that. Don't let what his words deceive you. He says this and he says that and he says that. So she would lie and twist everything that he has said. And she can be very believable. You truly would actually believe. I'll start believing. And I'll start believing that, he actually hated me. And he was just here to see if I'm dying anytime soon. And he will never take me out of here. So I have to be obedient to what she says because I'll never get out of here. Yeah. So the day that actually came and we left that home, I couldn't believe it. Even on the way, I didn't believe it. I thought that at any moment he would change his mind and take me back to that nightmare. So when I started feeling happy is when we had arrived at the new place, which was also my brother's place, but he has also moved, just like the other situation in the other house where I got pregnant. So it was the same situation. So my brother lived here, another brother. So that brother lived there, and then after that he had to move out because I had to come with a child. So he's a good brother. He's actually one of my favorite brothers, really. His name is Paul. Yeah. He has treated me better than a lot of them. So he knew that I was coming, so he voluntarily gave that place, and he moved out from to another place. So that I can be living there with Dad, with the baby. See? Others will treat you better more than others. And no matter how bad people can be in your life, God would still make a way. He can still use some people to help you. So it's when I got at that home, the next day, that I started feeling that, okay, so this was not a dream. You mean I have been taken out of the house of bondage? I can actually sleep. I can eat. I can relax. And I don't even have to fear for my daughter's safety. There is a few things that had happened that had made me to fear for my little baby's safety that I don't want to talk about. Again, one day, I'll talk about everything. Right now, I'm only saying a little bit. Truly, from the other video and this one, I've only said a little bit from what I really endured in that home. It's not a home, it's a house, because to me it was a prison house. So now I was in a place where I can actually leave my baby sleeping without worrying what will happen to her. I can rest up. Truly. May the Lord bless my dad for me. Again, a lot of parents would have just given up on a person completely. But he didn't. So, even now, it's the same. There is people that are just horrible from the beginning, and there is good people that just make bad decisions. He's a good person that has just made bad decisions that really has caused me pain, but I still love him nonetheless. So finally, but then like a couple of months later, this nightmare woman showed up with all kinds of accusations, chased me around the compound with whatever. I don't even remember what she was accusing me of. So no matter where I would be, whenever she shows up, it's like she never comes in peace. And for the family that know her, everybody says the same thing. She's not the kind that can ever come in peace. Every single time there is always something. And if you want your peace to go away, let her just step into the place. The peace is gone. She has a good name, but it doesn't really match her character at all. But anyways, so that is just part of how I ended up with a child. She's a lovely child. At that time, I didn't understand why God allowed those things to happen. Why God allowed her to come in such a horrible way. And there is a time when she was younger that I did not understand why I had to put up with things, because I didn't understand having a child, how to deal with a child. And at some point I just didn't like her that much. But we grew up together. I was a kid that was raising a kid. I was expecting a baby to understand things that I was saying. Because when she would cry, I would start crying because I would get frustrated because why are you crying? And I did not understand baby language. I thought she was a grown-up that just didn't understand what to do. So, I was pretty much, I raised a child and I was a child. But years and years and years, no matter how much the enemy has tried to get rid of us and separate us and do all kinds of things against us, God has kept us together, has kept us in unity, has kept us in joy. Again, she's the only one that I really have. So year after year, we have pretty much raised each other up. And now I cannot imagine my life without her. I cannot. And even though it was such a horrible situation, and I think she could have come in a better way for my sake and for her sake, but she's here, and I'm grateful for her life. And she's the best daughter, really, that anyone could have. So I am grateful for that. So again, God can turn a very ugly situation into something good. Again, at that time, it did not seem like anything good can come out of it, for sure. And raising her as a single mom all these years, it was very hard. Because when we got here, she was around 2 years old. So then I had to be going to school, as a teenager. I had to learn to be a mom in a new country with little to no support. Go to the daycares, go to school, go to do this, go to do that. It was very hard. Sometimes I just wanted to just not deal with that kind of responsibility, and I just wanted to be free. But again, now I look back and it's like, well, all of that has happened, but something good came out of it, and that's her. God made something beautiful out of a very ugly situation. And she's a person, she's intelligent, she's kind, she's very smart, she's very adorable. She can be such a mother, a nagging mother. But, she puts up with me as I put up with her. So we put up with each other. And she's my little best friend. So for the person that thought that can come and tell her what I am, shame on you. Every single thing, most of the things that I do, I tell her. Whether I had a bad dream, we'll talk about it. She has a bad dream, we'll talk about it. We ended up seeing this person, we ended up talking to this person, we ended up doing this. We talk. She's my best friend and I'm her best friend. We talk. So she knows me more than anyone besides God. God knows everything about me, for sure. But human-wise, she actually knows me more than anyone. She knows all the secrets. She knows all the good. She knows all the bad. The good that I've done, the bad that I have done. Please. She knows. So good luck to anybody that will try to come and tell her that, your mother did this, your mother did this. She knows. Because to me, I'm not a hypocrite in front of her. The evil that I did, the evil that I've done, the good that I've done, the good that I did, she knows. So anyway, that's how I ended up with a child. After all those times of rape here, rape there, do this, do that, here, there. I am still here, and I am grateful to God that truly He has kept us, He has watched over us, He has blessed us, He has made sure that we have everything. We truly do not lack. God has been a husband to me, a father and a mother to me, and my best friend, my brother, my sister. And He has been the same. He has been a father, more than a father, to my little girl. My little girl doesn't lack anything. Every single thing we have, it has been the hand of God. I may not have too much than some people want to say. I am not rich by any means, but I'm not poor. I don't desire to really be rich. I just want to have enough. What God has ordained for me, that I'll take. So I glorify Him because He has seen us through. Truly, when I was in that sister's home, I never thought that I'll leave that home, let alone travel abroad. And I'll be years and years without seeing her. And years without seeing that man that caused all of these problems. That man is still somewhere. In Africa somewhere. And he had the audacity to be talking about help. Can you imagine? And you see, my God is still raising me up. Ladder. He is my ladder, and I'll climb up. So if you're in that darkness and you don't see the light, light will come to you one of these days. If you are in an abusive situation and truly there is no hope, hope is a person, call out to Him. If you're in a situation where it looks like a failure, there is nothing. Success is a person, call out to Him. If your soul is in darkness and it's in need of salvation, salvation is a person, call out to Him. So in every situation that you find yourself in, just call out to Him and He will help you. His name is the Lord Jesus Christ. There is no one else. Let my life be that testimony to you that will prove that He truly does, He exists, and that He still works in the lives of His people. He's not a faraway God. He's not the God to the Jews alone, but He's also to the Gentiles. He doesn't just care about the rich alone. He cares so much for the poor, for the abandoned, for the rejected, for those that are alone. He will be a friend to you when everyone has casted you away. He will be your family when everyone has rejected you. He will be your safe place where you feel alone and scared. He will be your encourager when you're so cast down. He will be your salvation when you feel lost. So call out to Him, and He will truly help you. He has helped me. He has raised me up. I was waiting for all of these testimonies. I kept telling myself that I'll give testimonies. I'll talk about my life one day. You know, after the chapter has been closed, after I've gotten to this level or that level. But he said, I have done so much for you. You're supposed to talk about what I have done in your life. And truly, he does deserve the glory. He has done so much for me. He has done so much for my little one. The child that they called a bastard child. There is a person that had opened their mouth to say, oh, a child that is born that way, it should be killed. I still remember that man that says those words. And now, I won't say where she is in life, but she's high up like this. And God is continuing to take her higher and higher, because goodness and prosperity and success is her portion. And she will continue to rise up. And all of you people that have said this and said that and said that and said that, even my Lord was called a bastard child. So for you that have called my child a bastard child, where are you right now? And your children? I won't talk about where mine is, because there is still enemies that are still listening. But I won't let words talk about her. But I will let the hand of God talk in her life. And one day she's going to sit in the camera, just like I'm sitting, and talk about her own life. And you're going to see that, you calling someone. First of all, you that, the guy that I even said that about my daughter, he had a bunch of bastards. Because even a bunch of children that he had, he was not married. But he had this one here, that one there, and yet mine was the bastard. People. That mine should be killed because of the way she was conceived. Why are you busy running around, also doing the same to other people's daughters? And also producing daughters too, remember. So may God really have mercy upon us. Let them talk. Let them gather. Let them take counsel against your life. Let them make pronouncements against your life. But the God that is on the throne has the final say. And his word alone is what matters. If he's for you, who can go against you? The multitude that has been against me, from my childhood until now, they still cannot have the final say. They delayed me in some ways. They prevented me in some ways. They discouraged me in some ways. And they truly hindered me in some ways. But you see, the God that was determined to get me out of those situations, he truly has gotten me out. He is getting me out, and he will continue to get me out. And for the glory of his name, I will testify of his goodness in this land of the living. And he will not allow you to perform your enterprise, for he will frustrate every plan of the wicked one in my life and in the life of my little one. And he will condemn every tongue that has risen up in judgment against me. If God be for me, who shall then be against me? If the watch of Israel, the keeper of my soul, is for me, then who can stand against me? No more humans? The gates of hell? The kingdom of darkness? the little loser Satan. Please. I've seen Satan run in my own life. Like really run for his life. It's not anything that I've done, but it's everything that he has done. And he will continue to do the exceeding and abundantly in my life, even more than what I'll ask for. Because it's his word, and he keeps his word. And for you that are out there, that are facing the same challenges, or less, or more, do not worry. Just call upon the living God. His ears are very attentive to the cries of his children. He sees every tear that you're crying. He hears every word, every cry that you make, every lamentation that you have, every weariness of your soul, he sees it. Every plan of the wicked ones, he knows it. Every counsel of the kingdom of darkness, he's aware of it. But as he has protected me, and I'm sitting here talking about it, so will he do it for you. As he has fought my battles, and really I have so much, and I've had so much. But every single day, my life is a testimony. I can even sit here and talk about what happened last night. The whole night was a testimony. The whole day yesterday was a testimony. The whole day today was a testimony. Why? Because even though Satan is really has decided to torment my life, and his kingdom comes against me pretty much every day, and yet, although they gather against me, he did not send them. And for my sake, they shall not prevail. For my sake, they shall not conquer. For my sake, they shall fail. Because my watcher is he that created the whole universes. My defender is the most powerful, is the most glorious, is the God above every other God. He is the living God, the everlasting God, the eternal God, that has no beginning, that has no ending. So is it a human that I should be scared of? Is it Satan that I should be scared of? Or is it these little demons that I should be scared of? Or is it these sorcerers that have been even trying to prevent these videos? Those two? You do not know my God. The God of this Bible is a true God, is the living God. I am a testimony of that God. I am a product of his mercy and grace. I am a living testimony of his faithfulness, that truly when he said, one day I'll take you far away from here, and he did. I am not in that village anymore. I am not bound in that school anymore. I am not bound in those oceans anymore. I am not being tormented by spiritual husbands and these demons and these occultists and these witches. I'm not bound by those anymore. I have a new identity. I carry and I bear his name. I am a Christian. I am a Christian. Christian has the word Christ in it. There is only one Christ, and that's the Lord Jesus Christ. and I will not stop. I will testify of his goodness because I see it every day. I'll testify of his loving kindness. I'll testify of his faithfulness. I'll testify that he's the lifter of my head. He is my guide and he has ordered my footsteps. Though it might have been in a very painful way. Sometimes it's in an unbearable way. But just like he did with Joseph. When Joseph was being sold, it was not a pretty situation. When his brothers cast him into that pit, and they thought that they had won over his life, and they thought that they had the final say in his life, God used that thing. He was just directing his son and was watching over the word that he has placed on Joseph's life to perform it. Because it's his word that will not go back to him void, but it will accomplish everything that he has said it for. So if my God said I'll prosper, I must prosper. If my God said that I'll be alive to testify just like I am today, I will. Because like I said, I have faced death many times. I have faced people that would have killed me many times. I have faced deadly poisons that would have finished me many times. I faced serpents that would have bite me many times. Demons that walked right into my room, tried to strangle me to death. Those ones I can't even remember how many. I've seen witches, sorcerers. I've seen everything. These mummy waters and everything. I have seen it all. But I've seen God and I've seen his angels. And I'm sitting here because God is the one that directs my life. So whether I had to pass into the fires and into the deep waters until great trials, but at the end, he will stand for me. Just as Job said, that one day he will stand for me. And with my eyes I will see him. And with my eyes I have seen him, and I'll continue to see him in my situation. And you viewers that are suffering the same, that have gone through the same, that have gone through worse or even less, you will see God in your situations. Do not lose hope. Don't let the devil tell you that it's over. Don't let the devil deceive you that there is no more hope. Don't let the devil deceive and take over your mind and say that there is no reason to live again. I better take my life. The devil is a loser. He's a liar. He's a failure. So don't listen to him. The same God that lifted me up, and he's still lifting me up, is the same God that will lift you up out of your situation. You may be poor today. You may not have clothes to wear. You may not even have shoes on your feet. You may not even have gone to school for anything. But listen, God is not limited. And he's not hindered by location. He's not hindered by race. He's not hindered by anything. But by his mighty hand will he reach out to you and provide salvation for your soul. Provide you with every single thing that you are in need of. Just believe in him. Just trust in him. He'll get you from the dust. And he'll get you to sit with kings and queens. Trust in the Lord my God. Trust in the Lord Jesus Christ alone. In him there is salvation. In him there is joy. In him there is peace. In him there is gladness. In him there is everything. Every single thing that you could ever desire is in him. So search for him today and find rest for your soul and find peace in your troubles and find solution to your problems. He's the one that lifts up one and abases the other. So humble yourself and he will truly exalt you. And he will shut the mouths of those that think that they have a say in your life. Whether they are parents, whether they are siblings, whether they are neighbors, whether they are relatives, whichever they are, there is no one that has a say in your life other than your Maker. So seek him and find what he has said concerning your life, concerning your destiny. For those that their destinies have been stolen, their stars has been darkened, their lives have been tampered with and blocked and chained and locked up somewhere, God is your Redeemer. He paid the price on Calvary for your freedom. And my Bible tells me that he that the Son of God has set free shall be free indeed. The Son of Man has come to set us free. He came as a man to set us free. The Son of the living God came to pay the price and set us free. So he that the Son has set free shall be free indeed. And that is your portion. Freedom is your portion. Healing is your portion. Deliverance is your portion. Salvation is your portion. Success and prosperity is your portion. Don't let anybody else tell you anything. Take it from me that God can do anything at any time. He can change your situation. Even now, he can come into your situation and turn it around, and you'll be glorifying him. He will do it for his good, for your good, and for his glory. The enemy that was, that wanted to get rid of my baby, now she's a 20-year-old. The enemy that wanted to get rid of me, I am still sitting here. The enemy that had said too much on me, it did not come to pass. But the God that said, I'll lift you up. But the God that said, I'll show myself in your situation. But the God that said, I'll be your encourager. I will lead you. I'll guide you. I'll provide for you. That God is the one that still speaks for me today. Take courage. Be encouraged in the Lord. Find rest in the Lord. Find peace in the Lord. Find love in the Lord, because he's the only one that will ever love you. Every single thing may fail. Every single person may fail. But the Lord Jesus will not fail. If he did, I will not sit here. If he did, I will not be who I am. If he did, I will not be where I am. So it's not just that the Bible proves that he never fails, but he also shows himself in the situations of his people that truly he does not fail, and so he will see you through. Call upon him today, and you will be glad. Find encouragement, my sister. Maybe you have been raped, chased out of your husband's house. Maybe you're just a widow. that can't even provide for your children. Maybe, the enemy has afflicted you. And maybe some of you, he has made you mad. He has stolen your purposes. He has tampered with your destinies. He has been laughing for years until you looked around and there was no more hope. And you have given up and said, well, I have prayed, I have fasted, I have seen the man of God, I have gone to this prophet or the other. You did all of that. But you need to come to Christ. Stop running around for this one to that one and that one. Meet Christ in the back of the desert by yourself. You have to do what Moses did. He had to meet the pillar of fire in the back of the desert. Sometimes that's what we need to do. All of these people can help us, truly. But sometimes situations need for you to get serious with God. I say, Lord, enough is enough. I am tired of this situation and I want out. And only you. I will not look to this person. I will not look to this person. I will not run to this man of God. I will not run to this prophet, to this prophetess, to this spiritual guide, to whichever. But I will run to you because you are the author and the finisher of my faith. You told me that you are the ever-present help in time of my troubles. And you said, if I call upon you in the time of my trouble, you will answer me and you come to me. And Lord, now I need you. Get serious with God. Get desperate with God. Not through some intercessor. All of the intercession are great. And God uses them. I've prayed for people, they have recovered. Hey, it works. But sometimes situations will stay there because God wants you to approach Him. There is others that He will just, give you this and help you with this through the intercessors. But sometimes He will leave that situation there because you, as a person, you have to meet Him. You have to call Him and He'll come down for you. You gotta do it. You are a widow. You need help with the children. You are a cast out woman out of your marriage. You are an abandoned husband. You are parents that have been abandoned by your children, or children have been abandoned by your parents. You are that castaway person that nobody ever looks upon. Everybody looks down on you. You are that student that never gets any school fees, that always gets chases away. I was like that for a long time. They would chase me out of class all the time. You are that woman that has really, really been defiled so much that you can't find anyone to talk to confide in. You have found a friend in Jesus. He is everything. He's that one friend that will not backbite you. He's that one friend that will not take your problems all over the place. He's that one friend that you can confide in and will really help you. And he is the solution to all your problems. That knows your pain. That knows everything that you're going through. Call upon Him. In His word, He said, call upon me in the time of trouble, and I will answer you. He promised to help you in the time of your trouble. Call upon him. You have been rejected by your family. Call upon him. You're on your sick bed. Call upon him. The doctors have given you bad report. Call upon him. You have tried in everything to succeed. You have had one business to another, one deed to another, and all of it resulted to nothing. Call upon him. You are a student that keeps failing no matter how hard you study. Call upon him. You are a person that is just known for failure. Call upon him. Oh, he will come. He will come speedily. And he will come into your situation one way or the other. He works in mysterious ways. Maybe you are not the kind that he speaks to directly. Maybe you are not the kind that he gives visions and dreams. Maybe you're not the kind that he prophesizes. Maybe you don't have any of these things. It does not matter. He will come to your situation and do the miraculous because he's the God of miracles, signs and wonders. I have many thousands of testimonies of how he has come through my situations. These videos are going to be long because I don't know where to stop. Because every day for me, he does so much for me. I am not special. I don't have anything I give to him that he does these things for me. But he's faithful. So he will be faithful to you. Not because you deserve it. Not because I deserve it. But he is faithful to his word. My brother, my sister, call upon the name of the Lord. He is a strong tower where the righteous shall run and be safe. Even if you are in sin, like the Bible tells us, there is no one that is righteous, not even one. Maybe you are stuck in an addiction and you have tried every way to get out of this addiction. Porn addiction, drug use, alcohol abuse, sex abuse, every single thing that you have tried and you really are tired of that situation. He is the chain breaker. He will break the chains of the enemy that has binded you into that addiction. And he will get you out. He has promised. Every other promise will fail. The promise of humans will fail. But the promise of the living God will not fail. He cannot go against his own word. He is the word. Hold on to that word. I know right now we are not allowing comments. But even if you want Bibles, I have many Bibles. So if you want Bibles, no matter where you are in the world, and you want a Bible, I'll send it. Get to know this bleeding word is a bleeding word. Get to know this word. This word will come to you because he's a person and is a he. I want to correct that. God is a he. He is a man. He's not a she. He's not a it. It's not whatever, but he is a he. He's a complete man. I've never seen him in any other form. He's a man. And this Bible tells me he is a man. So he will come to you. regardless of what your needs are. He saw me through the whole pregnancy. He gave me a safe delivery. I did not even have to go through the C-section that was scheduled for me. My little girl, regardless of how she was treated in the womb, she came out perfectly well and healthy. And He got us out of that house of bondage and took us far away. Now we are not in the arms of our oppressors anymore. Now we have freedom to do as we please. No one can tell me what time to wake up, what to do, what not to do, as back then. And honestly, all those girls that laughed at that time because they did not understand the situation behind me getting pregnant, a lot of those girls, it's amazing. A lot of the people that I knew when I was growing up, unfortunately, they're dead. Everyone that you ask about, what about this person? Oh, dead. That person, dead. That person, dead. The rich, the poor, they're gone. All the rich kids that were bragging upon their, the wealth of their family, gone. So you see, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what God says concerning your life. Don't let anyone else have a say in your life. No matter how down you are, pick yourself up, dust yourself up, because your King is on the throne. Be encouraged. You can reach out to us if you need to. And God will continue to just bless you, to sustain you, and He will see you through. I'll end it here because the part ended up being longer. There has a part 1 and a part 2. This is the part 2. But may the Lord Jesus Christ be with you, be with your family, be with all that you are, and continue to bless you abundantly. Until next time, may you like the videos. We appreciate the many subscribers now. And may you spread the word of the Lord all around, that it may touch some people that truly may need it. Maybe for you, you don't need it, but someone else might. So until next time, may you be blessed in the Lord. Amen.